What's up, dudes? Welcome back to Duty's Daggers. It is Memorial Day today, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to show off some of my favorite American-made knives in my collection. Um, I love American-made knives. I try to buy American when I can, and I have other, knives from other places in my collection. But I think all of us can agree that there is something special about owning a knife that was made in the U.S. There's always there's there's something extra to it when you get it in your hand. Um, it doesn't necessarily have to do with the quality, although sometimes it is, of the knife, but there's some secret element that just makes it a little bit better when you know that it was made here in the U.S. So I'm going to show off some knives here, and let's get straight into it. The first one is the only knife on the list here that is not mine. This is a knife lent to me by DNK Knives, online knife retailer. Very nice guy, and decided to send me this knife to check out among a few others. This is the Heretic Medusa. You can see Medusa right there, USA. I'm not too familiar with Heretic knives, but they make high-end, mostly automatics, but they have some manuals as well. And the owner is related to Marfione of Microtech, so there's a relation there. This is just a really badass kind of tactical auto. We have DLC coated titanium frame with stingray skin inlays, blue anodized titanium hardware, backspacer, clip. We got the inlays on both sides, and check this blade out. It's an Elmax blade, kind of an elongated tanto kind of shape, nice and thin behind the edge. Black wash blade, really comfy in hand, fires hard. This is a $980 knife. That's expensive. Man, this thing is badass. Holy crap. No, I'm gonna put that away. I am very terrified of scratching it, so I'm gonna set it to the side. All right, let's talk about some other autos real quick. How about Kershaw? Now, Kershaw has a few American-made knives in their lineup. Not all, but the Launch series, I believe, are all made here in the U.S. You can see we have the flag right there, lasered into the aluminum, and this is the Launch 10. Check this little guy out. Damn. Kind of a hawkbill blade shape that's really good for utility cutting and ripping into things. Blade steel here is CPM 154. We got aluminum frame, kind of like a gunmetal gray coating on that. Stonewash blade, really sharp, thin behind the edge, and this thing fires unbelievably hard. Just absolutely, it fires really hard. Sharpening choil is great too. This is a really fun little snappy kind of fifth pocket carry. I've been using this a lot since I got it. It comes with a clip, but I took mine off and put a lanyard on it. That way it just kind of sits in my pocket. Reach in there, feel for the lanyard. It's easier to pull out that way. I took the lanyard off because I'm changing to a different type of lanyard. But yeah, this is a sweet one. Kershaw Launch 10. Another U.S. Maker of automatic knives is Axial Gear. This is the Shift. This is an out the front automatic, and we got a aluminum frame here in teal coating on it, which I really, really like. When I saw this color on the website, I was immediately sold. This comes in other colors and blade shapes, but this here is the Warncliffe. Check that out. Look at that reflective finish on the blade, man. Ugh. So good. So freaking good. It's reflective stonewash. CPM crew wear on this guy. We have our American flag lasered in back there. This is a hard firing, out the front automatic. Pretty damn slicey as far as OTFs go. That was kind of one of my prerequisites for owning an OTF is I wanted it to be at least slicier than a lot of other OTS that I've tried, and this is slicier. Deep carry clip that's reversible. Really like how they do it. It's bent and it goes through the butt here, and then it's tightened in by this piece of hardware here, so you could take that out, pull the clip out, and switch it around for lefties very easily. And you don't have anything on the face of the of either side of the handle. It's just all right in the butt right there. No glass breaker either, which I actually like. I don't think glass breakers are really needed, but if you want one, that's fine. But for me, I think it's kind of nice to not have one. More comfortable than a lot of OTFs I've handled too. Very low profile switch. Yeah, this is a good one. So let me switch these. I'm going to try to fit all of them out on the table, but we will see. We'll see how that goes. All right, next up. This is a company that everybody knows about, and not all of their knives are made in the US, but a very large majority of them are. And we're talking about Spyderco. Of course, made in the USA, Golden, Colorado, USA earth. Some of the highest quality large production knives available, if not the best quality large production knives available. The quality of their steel is top notch every time. Their fit and finish is excellent. They are just very, very good knives. This is the Paramilitary 2. I've added some titanium scales, a brass lanyard hole plug, and an MXG titanium clip. This is an S45 VN, which I really, really love. I love Spyderco's S45 VN. We got the signature finger hole, of course, deployment hole, just real easy to manipulate, the compression lock. Just an iconic knife, probably the most recognizable Spyderco, and a very, very good work knife. Another great work knife, Manix 2. This might be my favorite Spyderco. It's kind of tied between this and a Shaman as my favorite, at least my favorite work, kind of a work knife Spyderco. This is slicier than the PM2 and the Shaman. Thinner blade stock. This is in CPM 15V, so it's kind of a special one. I have a blue anodized titanium ball cage lock and lanyard tube, and same MXG deep carry pocket clip on this one. This has an interesting locking mechanism. There's a ball bearing in here that is pushed up into the tang to lock the blade in place, and then you pull that out of the way. Blade freely swings shut. Very nice and smoothly. This one, very good locked in kind of feeling on this knife. Very ergonomic. Very, there's jimping everywhere. Great, great work knife too. I love me some Spyderco. I have a whole bunch of others, but I only decided to bring out 2 for the video. And in fact, I think I'm going to leave just 1 out on the table. All right, next up, a heavy hitter, kind of an old school knife maker. That is Hinderer. Rick Hinderer and his XM18 3.5 inch. This was a grail knife for me for a long time. When I first got into collecting knives, I wasn't sure if I'd ever be able to have a Hinderer, but I saved up, did some work, made some money, and was finally able to get one. This is just a big overbuilt beast of a knife. I've done some aftermarket stuff to this. This is a textured titanium scale from Hinderer, not third party. This is a Hinderer scale. Got some blue standoffs and nuts in here. I have it's called a Rick's Special Project filler tab right there. You can see there's a horse head and a horseshoe on there. Pretty sweet. And this blade is actually reground by BGM Knives. Look at that sweet hollow grind. This used to be a Spanto blade shape, but he just ground that out, turning it into just a regular drop point, and I freaking love it, dude. It is slicier, way slicier. The blade is much lighter, so the action feels snappier. The whole knife just feels better in general. In my opinion, I wish the knives would just come like this with thinner edges, but he likes to make very heavy-duty knives, and the Spanto blade in particular, he even says that you can pry with it. So I get why it's super thick, but for what I do with my knives, I slice more than I pry. So I decided to get the regrind. He just did an incredible job. This to me is a very sexy Hinderer. Amazing choke up spot, incredibly smooth action. You know, love or hate the guy, but he makes some pretty sweet knives. All right, let's get into a couple others. How about ProTech? This is the ProTech Malibu. This is kind of a special one of the more rare knives in my collection actually, because this is number 17 of 50. This was the California Custom Knife Show exclusive this year um, that I went to. It was my first blade show I've ever been to, and so this is a special knife. First blade show ever. Pretty rare Malibu, my first Malibu ever. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. I owned a Malibu before this, but I sold that one once I got this one because this is way better. This is in Magna Cut with their Wharncliffe blade, textured green aluminum scales, and deep carry clip. I mean, you guys know it's the Malibu. It's considered the king of button locks, and I've tried a lot of button locks now. There's a shit ton of them now. This still has the crispiest, best detent of all of them. It still does, which is pretty impressive. I mean, I don't think they've changed this plunge lock button lock system since it came out. Maybe they have, but it's the same knife, and it still is better than all these other button locks I've tried. I've heard rumors that We has a couple button locks that might be better than this, but I haven't tried them yet. We have a really cool mosaic button on this one. This is a sweet knife. I don't really carry it that much because I want to keep it real nice and pretty. It's a special knife. So, made in the USA, ProTech Malibu. I'll put this one right here. All right, one more company. Actually, you know what? I lied. Two more. How about Hogue? This is the Hogue Deca in Magna Cut, and this is the Wharncliffe version of the knife. This knife comes with plastic FRN scales, but I have replaced those with OG Goat scales. These are aluminum with some milled texture on them, really, really nice, and turns the knife into something that I actually enjoy. I do not like the feeling of plastic on my knives, so luckily OG Goat has got us covered, and they make some really nice scales for it. But this is a great knife and a really good value for Magna Cut, for the knife. It's only around $130 when you get it with Magna Cut and the plastic FRN scales. And then if you want to add these, they're only another $60. So it's really not a whole lot more. And the cool thing is, OG Goat is USA made, so these scales are made in the US, thus keeping the knife still 100% made in the USA. This is a really good lightweight knife, extremely thin blade stock. I love this compound ground. Wharncliffe, this thing gets work done. Bar lock, good thumb stud action. Yeah, it's a solid knife for sure. All right, last we have TRM, or Three Rivers Manufacturing. I am a new super fan of TRM. I was lucky enough to snag this Shadow recently, and it is just an excellent knife. These are made in the USA, obviously, by a much smaller company than, say, Spyderco or even Hinderer or Hogue. Pretty much smaller than any of these on the table. So the number of knives that they come out with is smaller. The amount of drops they have are a little bit more infrequent. And that's why they're a little bit harder to get, but very sought after because these things are just made so well. Very thin blade stock, very slicey blades. They come with the best factory edge I've ever seen, period. This knife in particular is a work knife. Really comfortable ergos, choke up spots incredible. We have a crossbar lock that they call the river lock. Great smooth action. Their pocket clips work amazingly. This one's in G10. Contoured G10, beautifully milled pivot. This is just such a good knife. And then soon after, I was able to score one of the crown jewels of my collection, the textured titanium atom. Holy crap. I saved this one for last because this is, in my opinion, more beautiful than any of the knives on the table. This is the atom in textured titanium. Look at this texture. Oh, it is absolutely beautiful. One of the most beautiful knives I think I've ever laid eyes on. Um, Gosh, really snappy thumb stud action. Very elegant blade. Very thin as well. 20 CV blade on both of these. This is such an elegant, sleek design. Just unbelievable. Inset titanium liner lock. So it's titanium on titanium, full liners. Um, Really good clip that's inset. Both of these are riding on washers. So kind of just a really smooth hydraulic action on these guys. Great detent. This is an incredible, incredible knife. I am so happy and so lucky to have this. Um, I had to sell a few knives to be able to afford it, but I would do it again in a second. So, so worth it. So, I hope to have more TRM knives in the future. They have a few other models that I'd like to pick up. The Neutron and the Nerd, I believe. And they have a new one coming out that I forget the name of, but they haven't really released very many pictures or anything of it yet. So that's exciting too. So, here are my favorite knives made in our country, in the USA. That's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me a comment under the video. Let me know what your favorite USA made knife is. That's what I want to know. I love you guys. Please like the video, and I will see you soon. Adios.